When I met Sadie Delany and her sister Bessie in September 1991, I was on assignment for the New York Times, hoping to write a story on these two elderly but reclusive sisters who had just celebrated their 102nd and 100th birthdays. In my hand, I carried a letter written by their neighbor in Mount Vernon, New York, who had extended an invitation to come by and meet them. The Delany sisters had no phone, so I wasn't entirely sure they knew I was coming. I was prepared to be turned away. I knocked on the door. I waited and raised my hand to knock again when suddenly the door swung open. The woman who answered, with her head held high, her eyes intense and penetrating, extended her hand in formal greeting. "I am Dr. Delany," she said elegantly. She ushered me into the house, and from across the room, another elderly woman said sweetly, "Please come in, child. Won't you sit down?" This was the elder sister, Sadie Delany. I must have hesitated for a moment. "Go on, sit down," Bessie urged. "Sit down as long as you like. We won't charge you rent." Then they both laughed uproariously at this little joke. Over the next 3 hours, I was charmed by their vivaciousness and playfulness. They seemed to have conquered old age, or to have come as close to it as anyone ever will. It was clear that they had found the source of their vitality in each other's company, and in the tales they told and retold each other from a century of living. When my piece was published, the reaction was swift. Readers fell in love with the Delany sisters. There were letters from all over the country, demands for television interviews, requests for guest appearances at schools and at political functions. The sisters declined nearly all of the invitations. Among those who read my article were editors at Kodansha America, Inc., who felt that the Delanys' story deserved to be a book. At first, the sisters demurred, unsure that their life stories were sufficiently interesting or significant. But they came to see that by recording their story, they were participating in a tradition as old as time, the passing of knowledge and experience from one generation to the next. The daughters of a man born into slavery and a mother of mixed racial parentage who was born free, the sisters recall what it meant to be colored children in the late 19th century in the South. Their early lives were sheltered. They grew up on a college campus, St. Augustine's School in Raleigh, North Carolina, where their father was an Episcopal priest and vice principal. Despite their privileged status, they suffered the insult of Jim Crow when it first became law.